Hi guys, it's Gina, and if you want to see how we changed our pool liner, then keep watching for part 1.
Picking the cover up, or taking the cover off.
Can I take this part off?
Yeah, go ahead. You want to pull it towards us? Alright. Bring it up and just kind of set it tight. Now make sure it stays folded in.
A bubble in my throat.
Think here. Right here.
I still have a bubble in my throat. Yep. I still have a bubble in my throat.
Wow. See how bleached out the cover is? We should look at pictures of when we first got it. It was like dark blue and beautiful. That's because the chlorine bleached it really bad. We didn't balance the chemicals right and it was all chlorine. So I was able to rig the pump up, got the vacuum head down there, tied into the hose. Hose goes into here. I put some tape around that so that it can fit right in there. Now it was sucking some air just a little bit very slowly. We got the hose turned on, just barely dribbling. You probably go down a little bit more. That way it won't suck any air. There's very little air in there. It's going pretty good. Got it on waste, so all the water's just going down in this pipe and then out, you know, to gone land. Gabriel's been helping me out a bunch, running back and forth. Oh, look at that. Hopefully this will pump down, you know, within a couple hours or so.
Setting up a pump to get rid of the rest of the water.
Yeah. This is evidently the lowest spot, and then luckily there's a little divot in there.
What?
Yeah, it's just a hole. Wow.
Down
That's because I
in a
used steel, but it was galvanized steel, but no, nope, didn't work. So we're gonna have to get some sheet aluminum or something.
It's not happening.
Just hand me a chair.
A chair?
Yeah. So we are siphoning the last of the water out. It's supposed to rain tomorrow, but just trying to get the bulk of it. There's obviously some high spots and low spots here, and it just keeps shutting off because there's not enough water there. So we'll see what happens when we go to get the rest of the water out when it's time to actually cut the liner out. I got a chair there so I can climb out. I fell earlier, but we'll have lots of help when this job gets going. So I've been having some trouble with the sump pump here. Actually, all this crud has been blocking the bottom of it, so I was able to put a net underneath it, and that kind of keeps everything away. Down to the last of it, the pump's actually having trouble getting all the way up over the wall, so I put the bucket here. Alright, so this is full and overflowing now, not doing anything. I'm going to go ahead and dump it out and then put it back in there and try to get the rest of this water. I'm going to have my big strapping son dump this bucket out for me. Here. Heavy. Oh. Got it. You can just pour it on the floor or wherever. There you go. Squeegeeing kind of as we go here just to get this last little puddle. This water is yucky and smelly. And that about does it. Last bucket of nasty water. I'm going to dump that out. Cutting some holes in the areas I think maybe trouble spots so we can investigate. Looks like there's going to be some rust behind there. We're going to remove the duct tape and just check it out. Well, I pulled the duct tape back on the first seam, and as you can see, there's some major rust spots. This is where two sections come together, where this comes together with this and overlaps, and then you bolt it together like that. We're going to clean that up and cold galvanize it. Just don't understand why it did what it did, but we're going to go with metal tape over it after we clean it up and cold galvanize them. You always want to completely repair any damage, because rust, you don't get it all, it comes back. I'll cut that open in a second. Okay, this is why we don't use galvanized steel to patch holes in the pool. Not only does it completely disappear, the chlorine somehow works its way through the liner and does some crazy damage. So we don't want to damage the actual pool wall. We're gonna brush that off and spray it with some cold galvanizing spray, and then we're gonna patch that hole with aluminum sheet and aluminum rivets, and then some aluminum foil tape, so that it's not a metal that can deteriorate. The pool wall is actually made out of steel as well, but it has a paint on it, coating that protects it. Once you break that coating, rust never stops. Another thing we'll have to do is take the skimmer box off and the return off. We're gonna replace them because they'll be cracked up and everything else. So this fence is awesome. It's made out of PVC. It's very nice. It does have some mildew on it that I need to get power washed off. But anyway, it mounts to the uprights, which happens to be right in front of these. So I can't get it off without first unscrewing it from here, pulling it off, being very careful so it doesn't, you know, fall or whatever else. I'm leaving the other sides and I'm putting one screw back in. I was at the pool store today and they were everywhere there too.
Yes.
Alright. Then I put one screw back in here to keep it. See that keeper nut right there? Sometimes that thing isn't in position and it just falls down. And I can see on the side, both sides here, there's an enormous wasp nest in there. We have a decent morning. The sky is clear. It's a little breezy, so we're hoping the wind cooperates. Preston and I are gonna try to tackle this job ourselves, which is kind of crazy. We're unexperienced, but that's how we do things here. Just gotta do it. Preston's getting the shop vac ready so we can clean up this metal dust and anything else that's in here that would potentially puncture the liner. I'm gonna start brushing away at this this rust so that it's nice and clean and pretty, and then we're gonna spray paint it with cold galvanizing spray to kill that rust. If you get some in your mouth, it's okay because it's good for you. Preston's gonna get that little rust there. Got pretty much all the loose rust off. We're gonna go ahead and galvanize it here real soon and get going. As I was looking around the pool, I noticed here that spot there, the liner had a little tiny hole in it. It dripped through and eventually caused a hole. We have another little one right here. We're gonna wipe all this down. There's also spots like this that have just been kind of worn. Don't really need to do anything with that except for scrape off the loose rust and then spray it with some cold galvanized compound, which is what we got here. Making sure we stop that rust. And you can basically watch that dry.